Welcome to the second annual Research Administrator Appreciation Day. We are excited to continue this tradition because we know that your hard work is essential to supporting our scientists and thus furthering the research mission of UC San Diego. One thing is certain, none of it can be done without partnership. Partnership with each other, and most of all, your principal investigators. So we asked a few PIs and their RAs to weigh in on the importance of creating a strong relationship.
Hello, I'm David Kleinfeld. I'm a professor at UCSD in physics and in neurobiology.
I am Jasmine Hornbuckle. I'm the sponsored research manager for the Department of Physics.
We are interested in nervous systems. We're interested in what nature's rules are that designs nervous systems, mostly mammals, and how we explore the world.
My name is Chris Benner. I'm assistant professor in the Department of Medicine, and I study bioinformatics and genomics research.
Neil Dutcher, I'm a fund manager in the Department of Medicine. Was fund manager for Chris Benner.
One of the areas of research that my lab is focused on is understanding how our bodies respond to infection from the influenza virus, and we use a lot of very advanced next generation sequencing technologies to understand how the virus enters the cell, how the cell responds, and ultimately how our body clears the virus from during an infection.
I'm Hadrian Borsa. I'm an assistant professor here at Scripps, actually at the Institute of Geophysics and Planetary Physics. I've been here at UCSD for 5 years most recently. Actually graduated my PhD, I can't even say how many years ago.
I'm Christine Koulibaly. I work here at IGP, and I've been at the university for about 26 plus years now, and actually 4 years down here at SIO.
So what I do is actually, technically it's geophysics. I work in a particular branch of geophysics which has to do with the changing shape of Earth under all different kinds of phenomena, including earthquakes, actually changes in water storage on the planet. When we have a drought, that actually shows up as deformation of Earth's surface, and I track that.
I'm Yen Espiritu. I'm in the Ethnic Studies Department, and I'm a distinguished professor.
Yvette Alvarez Obando, the MSO for Ethnic Studies and Critical Gender Studies.
So I work in the areas of immigration and refugee studies and focusing primarily on Asian American immigrants. My current project though look at what I term critical refugee studies. And recently I received a big grant from UCOP to work on refugee issues in California. And we're partnering with several other UC campuses, Irvine, Riverside, UCLA, Berkeley, Merced, to think about how to not only think about issues of integration of refugees into the state, but also about refugee knowledge, refugee epistemologies, not focusing on them as a problem, but really as a source of knowledge.
I think it's probably the one research that I can relate to. I have a history or education in medicine and biology. That's where I first started. So I think it's probably the most relatable for me. But I think obviously his excitement is contagious, as you can see. It's very infectious. He's very open about his research.
Sounds like a disease.
It's, well...
They're not all bad.
It's
the basis of evolution as well.
No, so. But I mean, we all find it very interesting in the office. He's one of the few professors that shares his research, and I'm not so sure if everyone is aware that is actually exciting for us to be a part of that research, to know what we're a part of. We love to hear what we're actually contributing to. So.
It's cutting edge genomic research. It's really interesting to see how like a wet lab does their stuff and then it becomes like software to use to analyze more genomic data. It's cutting edge. It's really spectacular to read about.
He's working with a lot of the colleagues here that are either working with seismologists or either someone that's working with, say, rocks, and it all has this combination that everything with tsunamis, with earthquakes, with volcanoes, and they all work together to kind of be able to find out what's going on with the earth.
I love working with Yaren because I think she shows so much passion. Like, it really comes from her heart. Also, it's in today's political climate, it's very relevant, and it really makes me feel like we are contributing.
We have to write lots of grants, and there's deadlines, and sometimes the agencies themselves are noodling with the instructions up to the last minute. So you need a good partner, right, that sort of keeps track of these things.
A fund manager who's really on top of things can help a lot. And in my particular case, I'm a very new PI, so I've been on the job, just over a year, and so there's a lot for me to learn. For me, I had so much to learn to have someone like Neil who can help give me advice and fill in details for me that I haven't had a chance to appreciate or learn yet is incredibly valuable. I mean, it goes deeper than that. For example, to have someone that you can just ask these questions of, when it comes to how to manage funds, right way to do the applications, how do you really manage these budgets carefully, because you usually have to spend a certain amount of money over a certain amount of time. What's the best way to manage all these details? It's very complicated, and as a starting professor, it's a lot of this goes way over my head because I'm also concentrating on getting the science together, trying to think about personnel, trying to think about how the lab's set up. So to have someone that knows what they're doing and really be there for me, have my back in terms of understanding all these details and helping me get applications out the door is invaluable.
Chris's role in terms of going out and getting grant funding is pretty much touches on all parts of it. In a way, my primary job is to lay out the things what I would like to do, who I'd like to do it with, and some general idea of how much it might cost. But to get that to the funding agency requires so much work that we're not creating it as UCSD. That's coming from the funding agency. So I absolutely need somebody like Chris to tell me, no, Adrian, you can't do that, or yes, you can do this, or just guide me through the process. And really, it's about guiding us through the process. This is like a team effort.
Exactly.
So I had applied for the grant with my colleagues from the other UC campuses prior to Yvette coming to work with us. So I was in a panic mode. And then we just hired Yvette. So her very first week at, with us was working on the grant with me because we had an impossible deadline. The grant was, we were notified in December, and then we had to do something by January or something, some ridiculous deadline. Yvette was there, and she was, with her past experience working with big grants, she was like, oh, this is something I know how to do.
Right.
And so we were, so I think it was such a, I was so thankful because she led me through the whole process, including just I didn't even know there was a research office on campus where you get the signatures, things like that the faculty never know. And so she came in, and I can honestly say without her, we wouldn't have been able to make that deadline. So thank you, Yvette.
Jasmine's very efficient. She answers my questions in simple language, rather than ask how much money is left in my grant and get a column with 25 numbers, half of them in red, half of them in blue, some in parentheses, some with a line through them. I mean, you can figure this stuff out, but
it's a lot of time management. It's a lot of pushing. It's a lot of shoving in both ways. It's a lot of partnerships. I mean, we're partnering. I'm not even sure you're aware of how many people we end up working with all over the university just to push these grants through. I mean, lucky you. You don't have to work with me.
I am lucky.
Every
morning I say this to myself. I wake up and I say, I am lucky because I work with Jasmine.
So we actually have a really good team on campus, and we pull all the resources.
That he's a new faculty member, and he's really open to learning about how this all works and both sides of it. He has to do a science part, but he also wants to learn how to do the administrative part, learning all the regulations and the limits and how to make a budget work and last for the whole 5 years of the project or however long it is. It's great. It's refreshing to see that the PI wants to take such an initiative into the whole aspect of his portfolio and his research.
one thing I did realize in the course of applying for grants is that there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of documents, and I think it's a little, maybe this culture of like, a PI kind of dumps a document on their fund manager and they have to make sure it's formatted correctly, and the text's the right size, etc. is I kind of realized on my end that, I want to make sure I know how to do that too. Being able to have a very free, open line of communication is very important, right? And so if you're able to sit down and talk, and from my perspective, I'm kind of curious what he's doing. So, and I could try to identify the things he's doing that he doesn't need to do, right? I mean, the decisions I have to make that he just has to go through the motions of codifying in a document, I can write those down in the document myself.
You're working hard, and not just for one PI, but you have all these PIs. And so one thing that I try as much as I can to make sure that Chris has enough time with my proposal, because I know it's not just me, and these due dates tend to align with each other, or maybe there are many PIs submitting to the same solicitation. So part of my role is to give you what you need to do your work, and because you are working hard and you've got a lot of stress.
Yeah,
when things are coming
it's
together.
a time thing, and I will say, Adrian, what he does do, he'll let me know at least a month. He gives me a heads up. This is going to be coming, so I can put it on my calendar, and he lets me know ahead of time.
The fact that we have such a open communication, and being new to this department, it helped us build that rapport. Like, we were able to work together. I got to know her very well, because once you start working on a grant, it goes quickly from emails to phone calls to just give me your cell phone number so we could text each other. So we really have collaborated closely, and it's kind of helped us, grow our bond together as one of my faculty.
One word.
Relieved.
Yeah, I could dig that. I wrote pleased.
Hey,
That's pretty good.
that's really good.
How's that? Dancy.
Happy.
Right.
What did you write?
Proud.
Proud. No, I said finally.
Communication.
Open communication, direct communication.
I think open communication is very important.
Communication is respect.
Mutual respect.
Respect.
And being open, honest.
Somebody else, like Yvette, has to be invested in it, and she is.
Try to have as much fun with it as possible. Like, it's very serious stuff, and jobs depend on it, research depends on it. But if you can have like a little bit of jovial fun with it, it takes the stress off of it. It makes it more manageable.
It's not her grant. She sees it as, it's a collaborative grant. And so she really is open to all that, which is great. It's great to work with someone that's so invested.
The business part is a distraction, and then you have to do like the science part. So you just have to do all these different things. So it's good if you could, someone else just takes charge and you have confidence in it.
I think a theme for the PI should be to appreciate that there's somebody who is working for your success, and that in fact that means immediately that it's a team success, and even just acknowledging that, I think is would be and is a huge step in building that relationship. So.
You might also be wondering what the Research Administration Training Program has been up to since the last RAD event. Well, since the last RAD event, we have successfully launched our certificate program, having completed 3 Level 1 basic offerings, and we are proud of the 87 participants from across campus who attended, passed their assessments, and have earned their certificates. So great job and congratulations. We have also launched our official Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube sites, where we host the RA Training Program podcast, which talks about and explores topics relating to research administration, and the 2-minute topic video web series, where we interview subject matter experts on research administration topics in 2 minutes or less. It is through engaging in conversations to promote learning and partnership that we bring all areas of campus together for the betterment of our institution. The content we are creating has one goal: to aid research administrators in performing their job at the highest level possible by supporting the training, education, and professional development of research administrators. The way for us to know if we are reaching our goals is by listening to what participants like you have to say. For instance, one participant said, "The class provided me with valuable information, access to subject matter experts, resources, literature, and most importantly, access and ability to network with my peers." Or another who said, "I have been able to give my PI some advice on her grants and generally feel more confident." And finally, "It has changed my mindset to see the bigger picture and life cycle of my small piece. It has made me realize there is a significant purpose and importance in the little things in my work that affects the big picture." This is what the Research Administration Training Program is all about, and we are glad to know that we are meeting your expectations. With our program recently featured as part of the Business Excellence Community of Practice, we are certainly grateful for all the support and excitement from across the different areas of campus, and to leadership, who by investing in this program are investing in you. But we're not done yet. So where do we go from here? Well, first off, we are happy to announce that the Level 2 Intermediate Certificate Program offering is now open for registration through UC Learning. So if you have between 3 to 5 years of RA experience or have already completed the Level 1 Basics course, then we welcome you to sign up today. Also, there are many more offerings coming your way. Our team is currently working on developing interactive games, workshops, webinars, and the continued development of our certificate program. We hope that these offerings will continue to have a positive effect in your learning and professional growth and development. At the Research Administrator Appreciation event, we are all about recognition. And to conclude, our Vice Chancellor for Research, Dr. Sandra Brown, would like to recognize all of you in this special message.
Hello, I'm Sandy Brown, Vice Chancellor for Research. Today, we are celebrating the exceptional efforts of our impressive research administrative workforce here at UC San Diego. Sponsored research is one of the fundamental pillars of the UC San Diego mission. And as we consistently find ourselves at the top of the leaderboard nationally and internationally, it is a priority of mine to ensure that world-class support is provided to our researchers. The research administrative staff are critical to achieving this goal. It's because of all of you that we are able to excel as a research institution. Your expertise clears the path for our scientists to focus less on administrative processes and more on their own research. We're so fortunate to have a multifaceted team well-versed in human resources, compliance, policy, accounting, training, development, and communication, and who provide seamless support to the research that makes a measurable impact on our society regionally, nationally, and abroad. Our research administrators support the collaborative and interdisciplinary research culture that makes UC San Diego one of the leading research institutions in the world, where your role in delivering the most effective customer services to researchers and their administrative staff is truly vital. Over the past 10 years, UC San Diego has almost doubled its sponsored research funding from around $700 million in 2007 to over $1.1 billion in 2016, and it surpasses that billion-dollar funding mark annually. I know that it's a tangible result of your hard work. This is why campus leadership proudly supports continued training, education, and professional development of research administrators. I also know it's not always an easy job, but it's so very important. And while I wish that I could be there in person with you to celebrate today all that you've accomplished, I want you to enjoy this event as an expression of my gratitude to all of you, who make us the outstanding research institution that we are today. Thank you.
What is the group? Who are these people?
Who are
A
these
bunch of Jasmines.
research administrators?
Wait, there are many like you?
There's so many.
There's so
No
many.
one's like me.
No one's like, no one's Jasmine.
Like clones?
There's clones all over campus. How many research administrators do we have? What, close to 300?
Yeah, I'd say 300 or 400.
Yeah, on campus.
Yeah.
I thought you were unique. You're one of 300.
Well, I let you believe that just because.
She is.
You want to know what I want to be called?
Yeah.
I knew you were thinking that. You're trying to decide if I'm going to be a fund manager or a research.
Actually, you know, I mean, as a side, one thing that is interesting is that in the news, if you have like a pandemic or it's a bad flu season or there's, you know, a lot of interest from a public health side about, you know, it being a bad flu season, that's great news for me. You know, I mean, but yeah, you maybe don't want to use that one. But.
No, fun is bad. I think we should all wear black every day and act like Puritans, and life would be so much better.
And
The physicists are generally rude.
no, you're not.
It's just so.
No, you're not.
It's true. You've never gone to an American Physical Society meeting.
That is true. That is true.
It's
So I can say that.
impressive. It's impressive. It's amusing at times, but it's impressive.
I know one of our first meetings was the Christmas party, like 2 weeks after I
yeah.
got here, we had a Christmas party. And Yen was like, you need to dance. And I was like, okay, so I danced, right?
I know,
That's
I'm
what you
bossy
do.
that way.